ఓకే. సో గైస్ కొంచెం అర్థం అవడం కోసం ఎందుకంటే పైథాన్ అనేది అంత చిన్న చిన్న థింగ్స్ ఏదో స్పీడ్గా చెప్పేసుకుంటూ ఏదో దాన్ని తగ్గించేసి వేస్ట్ చేసుకోవద్దు. ఓకే. సో ఫర్ మోర్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఫర్ మోర్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్ సమ్ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఐ వుడ్ go through your understanding level, and so try to be follow my instructions. And while I'm explaining anything, and if you're not able to understand any single point, please note it. Okay, either after the session, or if I give an option to you to speak about your doubts and all, and definitely you can ask it, then I would clear your all the doubts. Okay. I think this particular session, which is already recorded, and I would upload this particular session into our Canvas portal. So for getting the recordings access from the Canvas LMS, then I I would require your email IDs, and please share me your email IDs to my number. Okay, so that I would able to provide you recording access of all these sessions like Python, machine learning, any things actually. So if whatever the things you want to follow it, you can follow only that particular module. Okay, it's up to you. Yep. So fine, guys. So now what I want to do actually, so if you want to work with Python programming language, then you must install the VS Code. So for installing the VS Code in your computer, then we can use the Visual Studio Code. Then here you might have option for download for Windows or download for Mac or different based on your operating system. It will be pop up on that. So you just download and install it. That is a step number one. Second step is that once installation is done, then if you want to work with Python programming language, make sure that you need to install the Python programming language as well. So for installing the Python programming language or Python IDE, then we can use the python.org. This is the second step I'm telling. So here we have downloads, and there we do have various versions are there, and whichever the version you're comfortable, and you can download and install that specific version. Okay. I hope I'm a clever. I'm covered these two things. One is installing the VS Code, and second one is installing the Python programming language. Clear? Yep. Next thing is that whether you are already installed the Python in your local or not, how do I test it? Then you just open the command prompt, and so you just type the Python over here. And if you type the Python, then you have to be see this kind of information. Okay. And if you're not installed successfully, and then it you won't get this kind of thing actually. Clear, right? So how do you get this one? Just simply go on the search CMD. If you do the CMD, it is open the command prompt. There we can type the command is Python for checking the Python has been installed or not. Okay. So in my system, I already installed the Python IDE with version of Python 3.12.7. Okay. And I already installed the Visual Studio Code in my local computer. Okay. Now I would open the Visual Studio Code for working with Python programming language. And this is my Visual Studio Code. Let me close this particular folder because I'm using machine learning concepts in this here. Let me go for my Python folder where I would hold my Python class and all, and Python DNS DSA, right? Python data structures and algorithms. So this is my folder, and so within this one I have created my own environment, right? Okay, let me recycle bin. Okay, let me close this delete because I'm starting from the first. Yep. So I'm just deleted all the files what I have inside of this particular folder. And regarding about Python, I would store everything into this particular folder itself. And so even I would give you for accessing of this particular files and all. Okay. And yes, fine. Yeah. So whenever you open the Visual Studio Code with your specific folder, it will be open something like this. Okay. Now, as a first step, I already told you when you're working with Python programming language, either directly we can work with Python or else you can create your own virtual environment. It is the best practice actually. I always recommending that create your own virtual machine, and you can activate that particular virtual machine before we start working on it. Okay. And so let me go for create the virtual machine, or sorry, virtual environment. I would go for creating the virtual environment. Here we have a three buttons, and here we have a terminal, and then click on the new terminal. Okay, so here we got some kind of option for you, and so PCC. Okay, so here I would like to go for creating the Python virtual machine. So I want to see that what version I'm using. It's a Python 3.12. This is also command prompt only, guys, but it is here. It is in terminal and VS Code. And so let me go for clear this one. And what I want to do, I would go for creating the environment. For creating the environment, we can use the command is Python -m and followed by the virtual env venv, and you can give whatever the name you want to give it. So my env, okay, my environment. Okay, so the name of .myenv, I'm going to be creating my own virtual environment. So once if you are created virtual environment, so if I want to talk about or if you want to explain anything related Python programming language, I would activate this particular environment. I can go to this particular location and I would activate this particular environment. Then I can start working on the Python programming language in this particular folder. Clear? How do I activate this particular you know uh, environment? Simply we can use dot slash and dot my env, and there we can give the name is a script and activate. Okay, with help of this one, you're going to be activating your environment. Whenever you are activated here, instead of the psc, you will get your environment name. See, you will get something like this. If you're able to see this one, that means you are into virtual environment. Okay, so this is how you can create the virtual environment on your Visual Studio Code using terminal. And before that one, you need to install the Python version as well, and then only we can able to create this particular virtual environment. Any questions so far?
No,
Any
sir.
questions?
Python member
No, we are good.
Okay, I hope you understood, right, that what way you can able to create the virtual environment. See, this is the first step, guys. Before we start any project, before we start any new small project, okay, I always recommend create virtual environment. Okay, and it's even that is also bad practice to create every time, within the same computer. If you create thousands of environments also, it's not a good practice. But in generally, when you start working with the real time, you probably work with only one or two projects. Okay, not all the projects, right? Okay, so that's the reason, better to have one virtual environment. Okay, with your own virtual environment. Yep, clear. Yep. So now, once if you're done, then we can use Python. No, we can work with Python in two ways. One is interactive mode, and second one is batch mode. Let me open whiteboard. Yep. See, guys, when coming to the Python, and so we can use any one of the IDE, but I would use the Python in two ways. One is interactive, mode, and second one is batch mode. Okay. So interactive mode in the sense, what we do, we can write a single statement or multiple statement, and we can directly execute, and you will get output in the same location itself. Okay, so you are directly interacting to the Python, and you can execute single statement or group of statements, and we can run it. You will get it out. Okay, as an output. But when coming to the batch mode, there we are going to be creating one particular file, and there we are going to be storing lot many Python files, and we have to save it as the .py file, and we have to save that particular file name as the .py. Then if you run this particular file, it will run the entire code, and then after you will getting the output. But when coming to the interactive mode, it's up to you whether you want to execute single statement or multiple statement, and so that's how we can work on it. So one is interactive mode and one is batch mode. Clear? I would show you both also. And so if you want to build any kind of applications or projects, then we can go ahead with the batch mode. Or if you want to do some kind of analysis or understanding what is going on it, and if you want to understand each and every statement, or so the result, if you want to be you need to understand that particular result, and from that particular result you need to be give some kind of insights, that particular situation, we can go ahead with the interactive mode. Okay, so I would show you but both the things, like interactive mode as well as batch mode on Visual Studio Code. First, let's see batch mode. For creating the batch mode, then simply you can click on the new file and save it as the file name sample.py. I already told you every file, every Python file, it should be saved as the .py. So once if you save this particular file, and it could be created the sample.py, and here we can write the some kind of Python statement. For example, with help of Python, if you want to display anything on a monitor, then we can use the print function. This is what? This is output function. This is output function to display. What is the purpose? To display. Okay. And for example, I want to be hold some kind of data in, I want to save some data. Okay. So Anjan Kumar. Okay. So this is the name, right? Okay. And this is a variable and which is holding some kind of data. I want to display this one, then this actually it's a kind of variable and we are holding some data. And I want to display this particular name, then we can use name actually, just print name. Okay. So you can save this particular file. After saving this one, and you can navigate that where your file is there and which is available into my specific folder. This is my folder. Okay, Python underscore DSA, right? Python underscore DSA. Within this particular location only, my file is existed. So if I want to run this particular sample.py, then simply we can use Python space and followed by the sample file name. Okay. If with help of this command, we can able to run it and you will able to get the output over here, right? Any question? So this is how we can run anytime, any number of times. So you're running this particular file and you will be getting output at a time. Okay, this is how here I'm just written only 3 to 4 lines only. But when you comes, if the course is going, bit of deeper, then I would write so many statements. That clear?
Sir, can
So
you
the
repeat again?
what do you want to repeat?
Displaying output.
See, here Python is a programming language. So there we do use various functions. And here the print is the one function. And the functionality of this function is it help you to display whatever you have inside of it. So because of this particular print statement, we got this output. Whatever you written inside of this particular double quotes and which was displayed over here. Clear? Whenever I'm running this sample.py file, whenever I'm running this particular file, and I got this particular output as a first statement. And second statement, I hold some characters or name into one variable. It's one name. And if I'm printing this name, which is printing the what data we have inside of it, the data we have Anjan Kumar. So that is the reason which is displaying Anjan Kumar. So this is how within your working directory, this is your working directory. Okay. Within this working directory, I have created sample.py. I have created so many Python files, and this is the Python file I'm running with help of this simple Python statement, Python followed by the file name. So whenever you're running this one, you're getting output on your screen. So this is the print statement so that it is printing. If there is no print statement, it won't display anything. If you want to display anything, we can use the print statement. Okay. Now is it clear? So this particular process, we can call it as the batch mode. I told you, right, that we do have two modes we can operate Python. One is the batch mode and second one is interactive mode. This is batch mode. You can directly write the code on Python file and you're running the Python file. You're not running the single statement. You're running entire Python file, right? Hello.
Yes,
You're
sir.
shut out and you're not responding. Why? Any question? Right? Okay. So second thing is that we can use the Python for interactive mode. So interactive mode is a very tricky, and it's it's very simple to use it, and there you can get lot of information also. And it is I would recommend that, until you're understanding the Python programming language, I would recommend that interactive mode only. For interactive mode, I can save the file name as the IPYNB. I means interactive, PY means Python, NB means notebook. So there we are going to be creating that notebook. So there we can write the some kind of code cell. So here the plus code is there, right? If we click on the plus code, and so here we can write the some kind of statements. For example, hello. Okay, this is the statement I want to be execute. See, make sure that here we have a plain text is there, right? We have to select which language you want to work on it. I'm going to be selecting the Python. Okay, now it will be showing you Python only. And someone is, this is circulating, right? This is rotating, right? Okay. So here we have to select which Python environment. I already created my env, so I would like to go for select that one only. Okay, now it will be showing you .myenv Python 3.1.12.7. Okay, so this is how we can select the environment, and this is how we can select the Python programming language. After that one, we have to run it. If you want to run this particular thing, it will ask you this kind of question in a first time, because you're newly created this environment. If you want to work Python as interactive mode, we have to install this IPY kernel. If you are installed that, then you can able to execute Python statement on your IPYNB file as interactive mode. Okay, so here it will be showing you installing py kernel, installing collected packages. It will take some time for installing this kernel on top of your virtual machine or top of your my virtual machine. It's not virtual machine, it's a virtual environment. So until it is completed, we need to be wait actually. There is no option to all. Okay, see, after installation is done, then it will be showing you alloy itself, right? Okay, for example, and I would hold some name, and here we can save some kind of name, and you can run it. You can write this some kind of statement, and simply we can run it. Here we can have run option. Here we have run option, right? You can execute the cell. When you're executing the cell, you're getting output here itself. Okay, so this is interactive. You're writing some single statement or group of statements, and you're running here itself, and you're getting output here itself. Okay, running and you're executing, and you will be getting output at the same location. Any question? So this is how we can work with Python in two modes. One is interactive, one is Jupyter Notebook. Now tell me which one is easy for you? Which one is more realistic? Like in case of a previous program, every time the output, you're not saving output. But this particular situation, you can close this one after 1 month. You can open this one, and you can see this input and as well as output also. You can see the code as well as the corresponding output also. But in case of batch mode, you can't save it your output, no, within the same location, right? Any questions, guys? I need a response. You're not responding. I'm not sure why.
యా అర్థమైంది అంజన్.
ఓకే, అది తెలియాలి కదా.
జూపిటర్ లోనే ఈజీగా ఉంది. యా తెలుగులోనే చెప్పొచ్చు కదా అంజన్, అందరు తెలుగు వాళ్ళే ఉన్నారు కదా.
అది ఒక్కోసారి వస్తుంది,
If you-
ఒక్కోసారి రా.
పర్లేదు, ఎలా అయితే అలాగంటే కొంచెం ఫాస్ట్ గా ఈజీగా అర్థమవుతుంది అన్నట్టు.
యా ఫైన్. నెక్స్ట్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ ఏంటంటే పైథాన్ మీద వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడు డెఫినెట్ గా మనం తెలియాల్సిన ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే పైథాన్ బేసిక్ సింటాక్స్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ. I would show you that the course content. From there you will get where we are. Okay. ఓకే, సో ఫస్ట్ మాడ్యూల్ ఏంటి మన ఇందులో? పైథాన్ ఫండమెంటల్స్ కదా. సో పైథాన్ ఫండమెంటల్స్కి వచ్చేసరికి ఫస్ట్ థింగ్ పైథాన్ సింటాక్స్, వేరియబుల్స్ మీద మనకి we should have some kind of good understanding. Okay. Second one is Python data types. What are the data types we do have in Python programming language? Then we can concentrate on the conditional statement, looping, functions. If Python fundamental modules ni manam first complete చేసి then we can go for the second module. Okay. So as part of the Python fundamental, let's start with the Python basic syntax. I hope you understood that how we can use Visual Studio Code in two different ways, interactive mode and batch mode, and how to create your own virtual environment. Now I would concentrate on the Python syntax and variables. Okay. Let me open my Visual Studio Code and I can create a new Python file, new Jupyter interactive file, or which is a Python syntax. So it's my file one dot Python syntax. Okay, Python syntax.ipynb. This is the file I can upload, guys. Okay, into our canvas. Now, as part of this particular thing, then I would go with Python basic syntax. First, what is a syntax? What is syntax, guys? Syntax means it's a structure. When we start understanding any programming language, it could have some kind of structure. So in the same way, Python is also having some kind of structure, or else some kind of rules and all. Everything we do have it, that we can simply call it as the syntax. Okay. When coming to the Python syntax, then how we can able to create the variables, and how we can define the functions, and how we can create the conditional statements or looping statements, how we can create the classes and all. It could have some proper structure actually. Okay. That structure only we need to learn this particular course for initial days. Okay. So now when we are working with Python programming language, the program, it is consisting the two things. One is the statements and second one is the comments. So comments means it just give you some kind of description. It will give you some kind of kind of message kind of data. Okay. And it will give you some kind of comments on your code and all. Okay. And that we can do with help of Python programming language. In Python programming language we can do with the hash characters. Okay. Second one is statements means whatever the statements or whatever the instructions we have in Python, that it could be executable. So the basic difference between comments and statements are whatever you written in your program, it is executable, that we can call it as the statement. The instruction which is not executable, that we can call it as the comments. So what in program, whatever you written, the Python IDE, which try to be execute, but why some of the things are not executable? Because you commented with help of the hash character. Okay, in your program, if something you did with help of the hash character, then that scenario, which means that it's a comment. Okay, see, this is hidden, right? So this went for a light black color, gray color, right? Okay. Now let me go with some statement. Print hello. This is the statement because which is executed, and so that we are getting output on our screen. First two statements are not executed because it's a comments which was not executable. So only third statement has been executed, so that we got an output actually. I hope you understood in Python programming, not only Python, any programming language. I hope you understand the program. It could be consisting the two type of instructions. One is comments, second one is statements. Comments are created by the programmer only. Comments are created by the programmer. Even the instructions or statements also created by the programmer only. Okay. So programmer means you. Okay. So you can comment. How do you comment? When you start with hash character, that it could be comment. Clear? That is fine.
Yeah, sir.
Now, yeah. And next, I want to tell you one more thing. In any programming language, we have some words, some names, some words are there. So basically, these are the words are two types. In any programming language, there are two types of words are there. The first one is the keywords. Keywords means which are already defined. So there is a two words are there. The first one is the keywords. Second one is user defined words. Okay. Keywords means we simply call it as the free define. What does mean that free define? So predefined words means the words which are already defined. Who defined it? So while Python IDE creation that time only, okay, so the Python organization guys will create this particular words. Okay, so as a programmer, our responsibility, we just use only those keywords as for our task. And coming to the user defined words, so this particular words which is defined by the who? Programmer. Programmer can define some of the words for his own requirement, but keywords are which is not defined by you. Okay, clear? Yep. So the example for the keywords are, I can show you. And so for example, if I want to import anything, I want to import anything into my program. Okay, for example, I want to import math module. So here math is the one library. Here the math is one library. The use of this library to do some kind of mathematical operations. So if you want to do some kind of mathematical operations, we can use math library. Okay. So this math library you can import with help of import keyword. So here import is the keyword. Here import is what? Import is predefined keyword. Predefined keyword. Okay. So with help of predefined keyword, we can import the libraries into your program. That is a functionality actually. Okay. So this import, which was not created by you, this math, which is also defined by the Python. This is one of the free defined library. Okay. This is the math is one of the free defined library. If something is already defined, that we can call it is the free defined. So there we can define it the keywords, and there we can define it some of the libraries or packages, whatever it is. Okay. So very simple thing, guys. So that is how we can use the keywords. And so I want to see that user defined words. User defined words means so which are defined by the programmer for his own requirement. For example, I want to save my name. I want to save my name. For example, name equal to Anjan Kumar. Here Anjan Kumar is the data. Here Anjan Kumar is what? It's a string, and which is the data. Okay, is data. And what we are doing over here. So we are holding the data in name variable. Name is the variable. The functionality of the variable is holding some kind of data. So here the variable is one of the name which is defined by the myself, or employee name. Okay, employee name. So employee name is one variable, and we are holding the one of the name, and this is the name of the variable is employee underscore name, and we're just holding this particular data. See this emp name, it's your choice what name you want to use it, what name you want to create. It's up to you. Okay, there is no specific format, something like that. We do have some kind of rules and all, I can tell you. But the basic difference between user defined and predefined. So your import is one library which you are not created, and math is one of the predefined library that is also you are not created, right? But even though we are going to be using in our program, right? But when coming to this data is also created by yourself only, and this name is also created by yourself only, right? So something which you have created your own, that we can call it as the user defined. So here I'm creating some name or word. The name of the word is, it's a identifier or else user defined word. Okay, so here with help of emp name, which we are going to be identifying the employee name, so that is the reason we can call it as the user defined names or user defined words. We can call it as the identifiers. The technical names or identifiers are user defined names. The technical name for the keyword, or we can call it as the predefined names. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Okay. Defined by. Okay. Okay, I hope you understood keywords and identifiers. Identifiers are user-defined names. So when we are defining this user-defined, whenever you want to define identifiers, we should follow some rules. First of all, identifiers. Identifiers are user-defined, but we can use for to creating the variables. Not only variables. If you want to create some kind of functions, I can tell you what are the functions in upcoming sessions. And if you want to create the classes, or if you want to create the objects, okay. So if you want to create any new name in your program, then that we can call it as the identifier. And if you want to give the names for this particular variables or functions and classes and objects, then we do follow some kind of rules. We do follow some kind of rules. What are the rules we need to follow? The first rule is use alphabets. We can use alphabets. Alphabets means what? Small a to small z, as well as capital A to capital Z. We can use alphabets. Second one is we can use digits. So the name, it may be consisting digits also. Digits means 0 to 9. Okay. And use only underscore. Underscore means shift with this one. Okay. These are the three things we can follow it. But there is a don't do rules. These things we can call it as the do rules. That means we can do. Don't rules. That means don't follow these rules. I mean, don't follow in the sense we have to follow these rules also, but these are the negative rules. Don't do. Okay. And in a don't, and if you want to use alphabets, and if you try to use the keywords, don't use the keywords. If I try to use the keyword, that you will get an error. Okay, so don't use keywords. Second one, yes, you can use digits, but don't start with a digit. See here, I clearly mentioned don't rule. Don't rule means don't start with the digits. Okay, and special characters. If I try to use the special characters, there we will get some kind of errors. Okay, special characters means comma, full stop, space, and these are all special characters only. Okay, these are all special characters. So many things are there except digits and underscore and alphabets, everything in your keyboard, it could be special characters only. Okay, these are the rules. Make sure you should follow. If you're not able to follow, then you will able to get an error. Let's see some examples. I want to create the name only for holding the your name. For example, Anjan. I want to go with hold the ID. So if I start with the one ID, okay, so or ID underscore, I can use underscore, right? ID of employee. Okay, so for example, it is some number. Okay, I want to be name 2. Okay, so some alternate name, Anjan Kumar. So this is name 2, right? See, here I'm able to use the alphabets. I'm able to use the underscore. I'm able to use the digits also in my names. These are the identified. These are the things are identified. This name 2, ID underscore EMP and name. These are identifiers. Okay. I'm not getting any kind of error. So if you're not getting error, then you can able to successfully display with help of print function ID underscore EMP, and we can try to display name 2. Okay, if you run this one, you're getting output, right? You're not getting any kind of error. Okay, so that means you're following these do rules. And if you are not, if you are if you follow the don't rules, then you're getting error. Let's try the same thing, and instead of using the digits at last, I want to use as a starting point. Then what happened, we'll see. I am giving like name 2 name. Instead of giving the 2 at last, I'm giving as the first. This situation, I got syntax error. So what syntax error? Invalid decimal literal. So you are using the digits as a starting thing. So I already told you, right? Don't
Yes, sir.
don't start with the digit. Okay. So here I already mentioned, don't start with the digit. This is the second thing. And now I would try to be go with use the some kind of keyword. And the keyword is, for example, import. Okay, import is the one keyword, right? If I try to use the import keyword as my identifier, then we are getting an error. Okay, invalid syntax. Why we are getting error? Because we are using the import keyword. Whenever I'm using import keyword, we are getting error. Okay, and now I do use some kind of special character. Instead of using underscore, I may use some special character. So for example, I'm going to be using some and symbol. And is one of the special character, right? Okay, so if I'm using the special character, then we are getting the, I can't assign to expression here. Maybe you meant a different meaning actually. Okay, see, or else we try to use some parenthesis, or else at the rate symbol. Okay, yep. If I try to do this thing again, we are getting some error, right? So that means if you use the special characters, you're getting error. And if I'm using keywords, you may get error. And if I start with the digits, you will get an error. Okay, when we won't get error, when we are following only these rules followed by don't rules. Okay, you need to keep remember these do rules and don't rules. Any question, guys?
Sir, is the Python non-case sensitive language?
That is a good question. And so I would talk about Python, whether it is a case sensitive or not case sensitive. Okay. See, it is a case sensitive. Python is a case sensitive. See, what is mean that I do have name. Name. The name is Anjan Okay, I do have a name. See, both are name only, right? In your perspective, this and this are same. But in computer perspective, okay, in computer perspective, okay, if I print the name, it has to print Anjan Kumar only, right? Last we are holding Anjan Kumar only, right? If I'm using the smaller case letters or if I'm using uppercase letters, I would try to get the Anjan Kumar only. The latest one is Anjan Kumar only, right? Okay. So, but here what happened? This is the thing which is displaying this one, and this is the variable which is displaying this one actually. So, which meaning that the Python is identifying these two names are different, even though the spelling is same. Okay, but here these are the smaller case letters and these are uppercase letters. Clear? This kind of thing we can call it as the case sensitive.
Yeah, sir.
Python is sensitive or not case sensitive?
Case sensitive language.
Yes, yes. So guys, for this particular session, what you really understood, Python Visual Studio installation. I would try to write the things what I explained. VS Code installation. Okay. Second one is Python IDE installation. Third one is creating virtual env. Okay. And activation. Okay. And next, you started understanding Python syntax. And under the syntax, we understood the comments. You understood statements. You understood keywords. We have a lot of keywords, guys. Identifiers. Okay. And tomorrow's session, I would talk about variables and data types. Okay. So these are the things I can explain you by tomorrow's session. So can you please take the screenshot of this particular concepts, whatever I explained? Yep. Can you please take the screenshot of this one, guys? Guys, that's for today's session. Tomorrow, I would try to explain variables concepts and data types concepts, and I can try to go a bit deeper on that. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Take care.